One of the industries in America that continues to grow despite inflation is hair care. No matter social status, Americans want to look good, especially in the Black community. Historically, there was always someone who had to be skilled or at least willing to engage in this industry. Barbering is one of the oldest professions that exist, dating back to 5000 BC in ancient Greece and Egypt. Barbers were once referred to as barber surgeons, as they not only cut hair, but even performed some surgical procedures. Once upon a time, only a few professionals were able to find notoriety in this space by servicing a celebrity of some sort. But now, if you have access to a phone, you can not only show your work far beyond your shop, you too can be a celebrity. With the hair care landscape rapidly changing, how does this affect shops, clients, and the evolution of the barber?
Culture of barbering has definitely blew up beyond what I thought it would have been. Like, I never thought I would be where I'm at today, 15 years ago. My name is Yusuf Barber, based in Atlanta, owner of Diamond Cuts 1 and 2, creator of the Curl Sponge, and One Plug Multi-Clip Charging. I got my license in Maryland, so I grew up in Maryland. My ethnicity is Egyptian. My parents are from Egypt.
As a young man like his sons, he remembers getting his hair cut as well.
I was about 12 years old, going to the barbershop myself, and I kept getting messed up by the barber. So I'd go home and fix it. We had a medicine cabinet in my parents' house. They had a medicine cabinet in the basement that opened like this, kind of like the self-cut system, like the original self-cut system. So you open the medicine cabinet mirror, and I got in there and I'm fixing it up, touching it up. I remember even trying to fix my line one time with my mom's eyeliner, the original blackout. But yeah, that's how it started. So I went to school, and when I went to school, my classmates asked me who cut my hair. I tell them I did. So then I started cutting their hair, started cutting my brother's hair. I started working at a young age, so I was cutting the people in the warehouse I was working at when I was like 15. And when I left that job, I went to a barbershop when I was 16.
Eventually, his ambition would lead him out of Maryland and down further south.
About 14 years ago, I moved to Atlanta, and that's really when my career took off. You know, they say Atlanta is like the hair mecca. So I went to my first shows, got introduced to the whole barber society, marketing with different companies, working with different companies. So it really opened my eyes to how big barbering is.
It may start as a hobby in the basement or bathroom of a family home, but when clients start to develop relationships with their barber, it can be much more.
But I think the barbershop is like, it's like our therapy. You know, it's people come and talk and discuss sports, discuss their personal problems. Like, sometimes you just ask somebody how they doing it. They just go on and on about what's really going on, and you had no idea this is what to expect. They say it's cheaper to go see a barber than go to a psychiatrist, right? So you sell confidence at the end of the day. You know, look good, you feel good. And in the midst of helping people look good and feel good, we also communicate to them. We talk to them. Like, I know when my clients' mom died, or they going through a divorce, or if they have baby mama drama. And I know all of that. And a lot of it, you know, we speak to them from experience as well. In dealing and hearing different situations and different stories, we're able to advise them accordingly. But then again, you have to be aware of certain things like suicide, stuff like that. So now you need to be able to give them the tools to go seek that additional help. You know, so I think it's very important that we study mental health awareness so that we can be aware of those situations and so that we can communicate better with our clients. I have a lot of memorable barber experiences. Like I said, just a lot of stuff. 17 years, a lot of stuff happened. It's like last week, I pulled up to cut Quavo for a music video and ended up in the video. Like, now you go back, that's in history right now. You go back to that video, you'll see me in the video cutting his hair. And I wasn't expecting that at all. But I would say just the notoriety, you know? Like I don't call myself a celebrity barber, but it's kind of the title that the people gave me because of the who I cut and and the things that I do. A skilled barber, I feel like, can cut with any type of clipper, like even Walmart clippers. But having these professional clippers, and like, it's helping me cut down time. It's helping with the flutter. I know a lot of people say it's not the tool, it's the fool, but these tools make it hard for you to mess up, man. We're cordless, we have long elastic batteries, got new guards coming out, got new blades, new clippers, the things that I did that changed the course of barbering a little bit, like the curl sponge. Right. So the curl sponge is an old African trick, just made it practical and made it like a brush. So the last one I did was the Pro Sponge glove, which is like palm rolling on steroids. This right here, that style right there, it took off. Everybody wears that look now, right? So as barbers, we don't have to pick out the hair, shape it up, pick it out again, shape it up, you know? People aren't wearing that microphone look anymore. So we just tap the sides, curl sponge the top. I want to say that curl sponge made things a lot easier for us. Aside from the money and stuff, like, I never thought I would get a contract from a company to cut hair, get flown across the state to cut hair, get flown out of the country to cut hair. So these clippers, they took me all over the world and helped me see things I never thought I would see and people I never thought I would meet. So it's I'm just real grateful to be where I'm at today, when I could take care of my family and I could provide a business where other barbers can take care of their families as well. Pursue greatness and you'll attract greatness. Do greatness in everything you do, no matter what it is. Do the best you can and you'll attract the best.
And there are barbers across the country doing their best to push this career to new heights.
This is a career that you can make great money. You can really do things that other people might not be able to do. My name is Israel Wright. I'm a men's grooming specialist. I'm an AKA expert. I have been in the city of Atlanta for about 13 years now. I'm originally from Illinois, Northern Illinois, but I moved out here to go to barber school, and I've been able to make a living since I've been here.
Before it became a business, it was just something he grew up seeing around him.
My aunt, my cousin, my mom, all have been in hair and nails since I can remember. So I wasn't really focused on hair or any other services while I was growing up, because it just was what they did. I was more so focused on basketball and just, hanging out with friends. And then I got older and started realizing like I had a eye, or it was almost kind of like came natural to me. I don't even know if I thought it was going to be a hobby. I had seen it as a child, so I knew what a good haircut was supposed to look like. I knew that, you could make money in the beauty industry, but I just didn't see that for myself until I actually started doing it. It was just something that I picked up and started doing around like a little after college. And, one of my roommates was like, "Hey man, can you line me up? We about to go out." So I did it. And he got a lot of compliments that night. And it went from compliments to requests to inquiries to demands. So now I'm at work taking calls like, "Yeah, okay, as soon as I get off, I'm gonna come over, we'll cut your hair." And then I'm doing $5 haircuts, $7. I think I was doing $2 lineups and $5 haircuts. Like, that's how my career started. So I absolutely did not think it was going to be something that I did full time, but it took on a whole life of its own. Also, just being able to build the relationships, that to me is one of the biggest things. That's why I put it in my book as one of the chapters. Relationships are worth more than money, and being able to build relationships with people will put you in places and get you in rooms that money cannot even buy. So, barbering has just opened up a lot of doors for me. It's put me in places and positions that I never saw for myself. I see so many more opportunities in it. But I think the biggest thing is I never stopped at just cutting hair. And I think that the industry has so much more to offer that if you limit yourself and you only stop at haircuts, that's all you're gonna get. It's always changing. It's never staying the same. If I think about stuff that was going on when I was a kid versus now, it's night and day difference. Also, I think it's limitless. I think a lot of people from the outside looking in think that barbers can only reach a certain level of success, and they don't understand that there's no limitations on this industry. You can literally do whatever you want, however you want to do it. And I think maybe one final thing is that social media has played a major, major part in where the progression of the industry is now. From the price points to just the access, the exposure to barbers. So, I definitely see it going in an amazing route or an amazing direction. I think we just need to make sure that we focus on business too and not just the skill.
And some take that business very seriously.
Call Rob 10 o'clock at night sometimes. He in the shot. The Clippers buzzing. I'm like, damn.
Still not getting home. All right.
My name's Jack. I'm a barber in the swag shop on Edgewood. Also cut in a magnificent location at State Farm Arena doing all Hawks home games. I'm the official barber for Georgia Tech men's basketball team. I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana.
My name is Robert Parlow. I am originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA. I've been in Atlanta since I got out the Air Force in 2000. I work here at the swag shop on Edgewood. I work in the State Farm Arena with the Hawks. I cut Big Boy from Outkast for the past 20-some-odd years. Killer Mike, the owner of this shop, I've been cutting his hair almost the same amount of time. And I just love this business.
My dad used to cut my hair, and though he did a pretty good job, you go to school though, and you see all these guys with these super sharp lineups, and you like, man, I want that, man. Like I said, my dad did all right, but shoot, I said, man, I picked them up and started, operating on myself. And I didn't even realize how good I was getting it. I thought I was just cutting my hair decent enough to where I liked it. But when I actually started going to school now, they asking me who lined me up, and I'm like, me. So I started cutting people in my mama's garage. I pull up at their house, was doing lineups for like $5, and I wasn't doing really no fades and no haircut shit. But I started working on that, on my own, messing myself up, a lot of trial and error doing that. And, eventually, I got pretty good at it. And even then, I still didn't think the light didn't go off yet. Oh, go be a barber, man. You have a good career in cutting hair. Nobody never really, explained it to me. I didn't go to a barber shop for the first time until I was like 16 with one of my partners or whatever. But I'm working at warehouse jobs, fast food restaurants, everything. And then one day I'm just like, man, I got to go get a trade or something. So I actually went to Atlanta Tech to go get my CDL license. So I go to the school, I signed up. They would send me where the classroom was at the school to go meet the instructor for my CDL. I start walking to the CDL class. I walked past the barber shop. I never made it to the CDL class. I walked in the barber shop, talked with the instructor, and he was like, yeah, go back up there and, talk with the lady at the front, tell him this is what you want to do. So I went back up to the front. I spoke with the lady. The only problem was they didn't have any classes starting until May. We in like February at the time. I'm just trying to make an urgent life change. So I was like, man, I was going to do it though. I went home or whatever. I told my mama. And then she tells me, ironically, well, they got a beauty school, just a barber and beauty school just opened up around the corner from her house. She was like, I'm going to go over there and get the information for you. So she drives over there, get the information, says it to me. I call them. They tell me come in on a Monday. I came in there Monday, started the next week, got licensed, and, the rest history from there.
Same, basically, backstory. You got tired of my father's at-home haircuts because we had no lineup game at all. He was just cutting my hair down and give me a part, and I looked like Arnold Jackson doing different strokes and everything. I'm not dealing with this. So he's like, look, start paying for your haircuts, or you better learn how to do it yourself. So I tried both and wound up, picking up the with myself and giving myself a little fade. Yeah, it's a bunch of trial and error at the start, and sometimes cut it all off and come back again. But as music I got nice, and I started cutting over my friend's hair, and it wasn't a career I thought I would get into because I was going to college, got tired of college, went to the military, did 4 years in the Air Force, cutting hair, and you do all over to your friends to the station in North Dakota, and of course they don't have too many black barber shops up there, so you know what I'm saying. And after a while on Saturdays, I'm realizing my room is getting full. Cause sometimes I had captives in there, you know, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, hold on, okay, so it got plentiful. I didn't have to spend my military check because I was eating off of the money I made cutting hair. So after I got out in 2000, I moved down here.
And it's no coincidence that a barber would move to Atlanta. Here in the ATL at the Herndon home, history speaks for itself. This mansion is a 15-room national landmark built by Alonzo Herndon. He was Atlanta's first black millionaire, but he was born as a slave. Once emancipated, he became a sharecropper and a farmhand, but in his free time expanded into other entrepreneurial endeavors. One of them, learning to be a barber. Eventually, he would go on to own 3 shops. This provided him with the capital to open his insurance company, which catapulted his success. His example was a beacon of hope throughout the community, and he has inspired barbers to strive for excellence in life and love for the craft.
I love it. I get excited when he tells me stuff about what's going on with him. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how hard he works. This is a man that is a great father. You know what I'm saying? He's not an absent father. He's in his children's life. He's a fiance. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? See, I'm selfish right now. It's just me. And I was like, yeah, I couldn't do what he does because it's like, if you don't have a mate that's you're equally yoked with, and you're around all these celebrities and everything, and like you're always out. Like, I'm working. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so he's blessed to have that. I've tried. And I'm like, you at that studio with them girls? I'm like, first of all, it's me and him. He's in that booth rapping. I just cut his hair. I'm like, but you just have to be equally yoked with somebody that sees your vision, and you go from there. So
the doors of opportunity for barbers have swung wide open, and many are reaping the benefits.
There's so many things you can do with barbering. I used to get paid $10,000 a month just to post haircuts for a company. My name is Lee Marcus Harvey. The Barber Star is what I'm referred to, not in the area way. That's just what they call me, right? But was raised in Gwinnett County, Georgia, born in Houston, Texas. Just been cutting hair, pretty much been in the barber industry since I was 12. I was a little fat kid in the barber shop. They used to call me Bookman. They said, bruh, for all you old school Negroes who know what that is, they used to call me an old janitor back in the day. And used to tear my little confidence up. But it was cool, man, because I got to see 12 different barbers, show 12 different examples of entrepreneurship. We had the fly barber, we had the everyday, clock in, clock out. We had the barber who wasn't handling his business, the barber who was late on stuff. We had every type of barber, so I was able to see multiple examples of what I wanted to be in the future without knowing that that's what I was looking at. The dope thing about it was they would give me the option. Do you want me to pay you $10 or do you want me to give you a haircut? Now, every barber in there, their haircut wasn't worth no $10. I need you to pay me, my dude, because your cut's rag. You know what I'm saying? But the dudes who cut were like super, super fire. I'll go ahead and get my haircut. But long story short, I'm 12 years old, leaving out there with $115, as a young age. And, they hooked me up with the, back in the day, they said the bootleg man with the clothes and stuff. They buy me a couple bootlegs fits. I'd be fresh going to school. That little inside fabric would be scratching the mess out of me. But I looked good. Come on, somebody. So, but I did see that I wanted to, like, it kind of like, the way that I knew that the bug had bit me was for the sheer fact that when I was like 13, I did a haircut for the first time with my homeboy AJ Templeton, and the joint was supposed to be like a fade. It turned into a 2-hour baldy. So that fade just kept closing in and closing in and closing till it turned into a mohawk. And we said, let's just shave this thing off. Like, I like taking somebody from a process of one thing to the next, and trying to create with this tool. I take more pride in not who I've cut, but who I've helped in this industry. And there's a lot of barbers who have been able to see a lot of great things just by, working with us, you know what I'm saying? And so I really take pride in being able to throw hoops around the country, put people on to other, clients, from around the world. It's cool to just be able to be somebody who helps somebody get to the next level in their life. So I find that's the most gratifying and rewarding thing. Barbering took me around the world and to every event that anybody wants to be at. And it's crazy to me. I've cut for 2 Hall of Fame ceremonies. You know what I'm saying? I've cut television stars, movie stars, rappers, athletes, everything that you could imagine as somebody who has been instrumental to the black community as far as the imagery is wise. I've been able to be someone who's been trusted to make these people feel they're top. You know what I'm saying? I've been referred to these clients, and it's just something that's humbling. The shop that I work in currently at Tony's Barber Salon in Atlantic Station, I could have gone to a salon suite, easily, and could have had it rolling. But it's just the energy. It's just the camaraderie here. It's the people wanting you to do better, you wanting to do better. Just even small competitiveness. You're not going to be the one who brings out the worst cut. You're not going to be you don't want to have the reputation of the person who's always late. You don't want to have the reputation of someone who's always pushing their clients back. You know what I'm saying? You want to be the one who's like, yo, I'm punctual. I'm more on time than the doggone bus. You feel me? It's just a point to where people are really starting to see how important barbers are and how important community of barbers, because if not in the physical space anymore, you can see how the barbershop has been imitated in media spaces, from television shows to sports talk shows. They use the same method that used to have back in the 90s when you would argue if Jordan was better than Magic. It's just a round table of cats arguing stats that they just pulled out their head. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, your conversation has always been very passionate. And when you hear all these executives who call it poach our culture, you hear them say, we want to have the barbershop culture in these shows. It's tradition. It's, word of mouth is passing down, work ethic from generation to generation. It's becoming people's mental health specialists, before that was even a term back in the day. It's becoming someone who is going to lead you to seeing that you can do entrepreneurship by just watching your barber, inspiration through that. Barbering is just the key to pretty much the black society. I mean, it's you meet everybody. You can cut the judge and you can cut the criminal. You can cut the police officer and you can cut the person who's the fireman. You can cut anybody. You can cut everybody. You can influence literally the whole community. Like I said, the barber affects the client affects the family, the city, the state, the region, the country, the world. So a barber can really affect the world by just the way that they integrate whatever they're speaking on or doing into this client.
In 1890, a young American barber's apprentice by the name of A.B. Moeller was finding most of his training to be a waste of time. By 1893, he sought to improve things by opening the first barber school in the U.S. in Chicago, Illinois. His teaching method spread across the country like wildfire and was pivotal in the elevating of the profession. Fast forward to today, for some, the same drive for elevation remains.
I would describe the culture of barbering now as just, it's reaching elite levels. I think we're gaining more attention. Social media has helped that tremendously. It used to be something just community-based, and now I think it is worldwide. My name is Will Stam. I'm originally from the tri-state area. I was born in Chester, Pennsylvania. I lived in Claymont, Delaware most of my life. I would say probably at about 15 years old, my grandmother bought me a pair of trimmers from Walmart, as a Christmas gift one year. And then from there, she told me I had to learn how to shave if I was ever going to go to the store with her. And, I wanted to go to the store with grandma because grandma, they buy you something every time you go to the store with us, especially when you're a kid. So just by her buying me that for Christmas, I started playing around in the bathroom, lining up on my stash and sideburns and stuff like that. And then it kind of took on a life of its own because my friends asked me, hey, who lined you up? And from there, I just started cutting their hair in the basement. And it just kind of grew a light into it because it was something that people thought I was good at. So I took it from there and went to barber school. At 21 years old, I decided to move to Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm currently in Atlanta, Georgia, own multiple barbershops in the city, and just recently opened up my first barber academy, as well as launching my new mission, which is the Pro Fresh Foundation, to help raise the level of standard in the barber community.
He leads by example, improving at every turn and hoping to see his true vision.
Something I would like to see happen is more of the barbers in our industry grow the mindset of a quality leader and go make the sacrifice that is necessary to help advance the next generation by building quality schools and showing people, the way of how to be successful as a barber. I think because if we can take care of the next generation, I think, the barber industry continues to develop. Social media has helped that tremendously. It used to be something just community-based, and now I think it is worldwide. And people are getting to see the true art in our industry, and not only just the art, but the potential that is in our industry. And it's, kind of gift and a curse because I think at times it attracts people who only care about the money and don't necessarily care about the craft. But the exposure has been great, and the people who are true to this and not new to this are the ones that are really able to take advantage. I'm a believer in a very simple principle that says how you do one thing is how you do everything. So a person who can take on the challenge of going through the process and becoming legit, that says something for you. Sometimes who you are can speak so loud that what you do doesn't have to say anything, right? So when you can go to school, you can get your license, you can follow through on the process. I think that says that you're somebody that is committed, right? Versus somebody who's just in it, just to kind of make some money. As a professional barber, my biggest accomplishment today is the school. The second biggest is stepping out on faith and starting my first shop. Because I think as an entrepreneur, right, the first one is always the hardest because you got to exercise that muscle. Shops 2, shops 3, and the school weren't as hard to do because I've exercised that muscle time and time again, right? So when I got into opening a school, that was a full new challenge. Like I worked this whole first year at my school here for free, meaning I didn't get paid. And to be able to put forth that type of effort was something I look back on as something that I'm very proud of because, for everything you gain, you have to give up something. And for me to make the investment of a year's worth of time without seeing the reward, operating basically just on vision, it took a lot of character and it took a lot of grit and a lot of hard work to pull it off. And I think whenever you put that type of grind into something and you get the reward, it's something that you deserve to be proud of. I'm a committed husband, father, and a leader. And I think the barber industry is tremendous. And I don't think there's any downsides, and I don't think there's any limits on the upside. It's all about what you make it. I'm a big believer in trades, right? I've never had a 9-to-5. I don't want one. I never desire one. But it takes a certain type of motivated individual to reach heights not thought of. 10 years ago, I wouldn't think I'd be sitting here right now with all the things I accomplished. But I just focused in, day out, and just blew the top off of my life. There's really nothing I can't do at this moment in time because of the work that I'm able to put in through something that I just enjoyed doing as a teenager. So I think if you can get a trade, you can create the life you want. Otherwise, you're going to have somebody else tell you what to do.
A level of freedom matched only by the responsibility in equal measure. But he's not the only one. Barbers across the country are feeling the exact same way.
My name is Asher Knox. I'm a native from Champaign, Urbana, Illinois. I'm father of 6. I'm a husband. Been married almost 24 years. I'm a veteran barbering, last but not least. I'm a barber connoisseur. It's my passion. I love it. Clipper collector. Tie into a lot of barbers and just keep up with the industry as a whole. My uncle was a barber, long-time barber. You know, person would get in the chair to look one way and get out looking transformed and looking like a whole different person. I would go get my hair cut there. I would, watch the vibe, and not having a father in the house, it just kind of showed me how men move, and showed you your place, as a young boy, and kind of modeled what a man was supposed to look like.
He recently got the chance to speak with one of those barbers he's seen as a role model growing up.
How did you choose barbering? At what point did you decide, and what did you go through in order to become a licensed professional barber?
So we moved on across from Tommy Barber Shop, and I used to see them about every day.
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot of fun, and I was like, this. Enjoying themselves. We was poor, so I got a grant.
Okay.
So I was in 1963.
Okay. And what barber school did you attend?
Motor.
Okay. That's the first barber school that in the country. Wow.
It was downtown on State.
Okay.
They had 2 barber shops. They weren't integrated then.
Really?
They had one for the white, one for the black.
Oh.
As they reminisce looking at old photos and trading stories, Osh can remember how he felt vividly watching barbers in the shop.
Early on, because I watched the barbershop, I said that I wanted to own a barbershop, but not in the context of actually being a barber in the barbershop, just own it. As time went on, I started to learn to cut my own hair. I had cousins, friends, I would play with the clippers, and it's something that I fell in love with. It's interesting because I went to school to get my barber's license in '99. Kind of had a life shift and was looking to better myself, better my situation. And it just kind of grabbed me. It was always part of my life, but I started to look at it differently at that point, as if it was something that I could do for a living. It's changed my life. I found a passion. I do it on my own terms. I'm still able to communicate with the people that I love, the people that I have relationships with, and impact the community at the same time. So it creates a living stability, but also I'm able to do something that I'm passionate about each and every day. In 2019, I went to Bronner Brothers Hair Show, and I seen that cutting hair, barbering, was not a hustle, it was a career. You've seen everybody going to get it, and from that time, I realized that this is what I wanted to do, and I was going to go hard. When I first started barbering, there were 3 clipper companies. You had Andes, you had Wall, and you had Oyster. We call it Oyster, however it's pronounced, right? So now you go to clipper companies, there are probably about 12 clipper companies. The advance of social media made the marketing aspect easier. Used to be word of mouth business cards, which are still prevalent, but to be able to go and market freely and for everybody in the world to be able to see your work. So we have celebrity barbers and then entertainers reaching out to barbers, and it shed a light and everybody can see. I can be in Champaign and see what's going on in the barber industry in Philadelphia, Detroit, New York. So there's been so many different aspects just to shine light on industry barber. But I think it's necessary to still be cognizant that we serve the community. Now you have suites, so you have people in their personal spaces cutting hair, and not as open to the community per se, but I think it gives the opportunity to create more meaningful relationships, because when you're in that close space, you can talk about things that are going on in your personal life as client to barber that you may not want to do in a barbershop of 10, 15 clients sitting and wait to be serviced. I think we still service the community. It's packaged different. So I think we still have that same feel, but again, there's still some, the brick and mortar barbershops are still here, but, with the advancement, and that's one thing, speaking of the advancement of online booking, which has also given barbers some of their power back. We used to just wait and let people come, you could spend an 8-hour day at a barbershop and maybe have 4 clients. Now you know what your day is going to look like. You can balance family life and you can, balance your work life. And so because of that, it's kind of a pullback. You don't see the 20 people in the barbershop at one time, but I still think, the barbershops still have the necessary feel that is able to give the community the service that it needs. I think we have a responsibility to make it family friendly, professional, and welcoming to people in our community. To me, the culture of barbering is everything. We influence the work. It started off in our communities, the Black Man's Country Club. It gave us a safe space to talk about things from religion to politics, sports. Again, modeling, for young men with adult grown men, responsible grown men, looked like it was just the heartbeat of our community. But it spread out because we influenced everything. When we were growing up and I was in the barbershop, I didn't see Caucasian people getting their haircut in Black-owned barbershops with the same styles. Now, as a barber, I serve Caucasian clients. You see a lot of different haircuts, Travis Kelce, Kansas City, Super Bowl champions. It's just everything. It influences everything. I actually think that it should be a component. The hip hop, they have the component of breakdance, graffiti, MCing, DJing. We influence everything in the world. It goes hand in hand with fashion. So to me, the culture of barbering means everything. It encompasses everything. I cut my way up. I'm passionate about the things that I do. I went through a rough road to get to where I'm at now. And barbering has been a lifesaver for me, and I'm sure for others. This is an essential industry. We're continuing to grow. We're not slowing down. And this is a wonderful industry to be a part of. And everybody, with a plug, everybody has to go through this.